I ran a poll on my community tab recently and I asked you what you're struggling with most as a creator. And 41% of you said the same thing. I don't know what to post. Not lighting, not gear, not even confidence on camera. The number one thing stopping people from posting consistently is simply not knowing what to say. So today, I'm gonna show you exactly how I plan a full month of content. Ideas, pillars, format, all of it in one afternoon. And by the end of this, you'll have a repeatable system so you're never sat there again wondering, what should I even post? Let's get into it. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying. All right, before we get into the steps, I wanna say one thing clearly, okay? You do not have an ideas problem. You have a systems problem. Waiting to feel inspired before you post is why you're stuck. Inspiration doesn't show up on a schedule, but a system does. Once you have pillars, a format, and someone to actually capture your ideas, you stop needing to feel ready. You just follow the process. And that's what we're building right now. Okay, so your first step is your content pillars. Now, if you already have pillars, you know exactly what type of content you make and why you make it. But if you're starting from scratch, here's how to find yours. Ask yourself these 3 questions. What do I know that helps people? What's the transformation I've personally been through that others want? And what do I want to be known for a year from now? Usually those 3 answers become your 3 pillars. For me, number 1 is filming techniques. I come from a videography / commercial filming background, so helping others to understand their camera and how to film themselves comes very naturally. My second pillar is my creator journey. I've grown my personal brand to over 100,000 followers across socials in the last 2 years. So I'm able to share all that I've learned for those who want to achieve something similar or beyond. And the third pillar for me is the business side of content, because many creators don't know how to make creating content sustainable for themselves. And I want to change that narrative by sharing my tools, systems, and showing what's possible in this space. 3 lanes. Everything I make fits into one of them. Now, once you have your 3, every piece of content you make has a clear home. And that alone removes most of the, what do I even post for you? And the second step is to split your content by job and not just topic. I break mine into 3 formats: growth content, connection content, and conversion content. Now, growth content brings new people in. Connection builds trust with people who already follow me, and conversion points towards something that I offer. That could be an email sign up or a digital product. Now here's the part that matters, depending on where you are. If you're early on in your content creation journey, something like a 60% growth, 30% connection, and a 10% conversion could work for you. And the reason being is you need to gain some type of audience and build trust before you request something of them. As you grow, that ratio can shift. More connection and more conversion and less pure growth. But the structure stays the same. Each piece of content should have one clear job. All right, so the third step, this is the part everyone actually wants to know, okay? Where do ideas come from? Now, if you've got 0 audience right now, or you haven't posted a single video, this next part is specifically for you. Start with your pillars. Take pillar 1. Have a look on YouTube, search it on Instagram, look at what creators outside your niche are doing as well. Sometimes the best ideas come from a completely different space, and you just apply that same format to your topic. You're not copying anyone, you're studying what's already resonating and then asking, how would I say this in my own way, with my own experience behind it? For every pillar, write down 5 or 10 ideas. Just from research alone. What questions keep coming up? What format keep getting used? And what's the common thread in the content that's performing well in a space? And don't forget to look in the comments as well. People often have really good questions that you might already have the answer for, and that could be a video. Do that for all 3 of your pillars, okay? And you'll walk away with a genuine starting list before you've even posted your first video. You don't need an audience to start generating ideas. You just need your pillars and a bit of intentional research. Now, once you do have an audience, even a small one, these next 3 sources become available to you as well. First, your comments and DMs, like I mentioned before. People are already telling you what you're struggling with. The poll I showed you at the start, that's exactly this in action. If someone asks you a question more than once, that can be a video. Second, repurpose your own content. Every YouTube video I make becomes a carousel. If my video is about camera settings, my carousel could be 5 settings you're getting wrong. Same idea, new format, new audience. repurposing. Third is to keep a running idea bank. Now, the second I think of something, see something, or get inspired by another creator, I write it down. I use my command center for this, and it means that I'm never starting from zero. I'm just going back to a list that I've already been building. And here's the thing, that same principle of looking at what's out there for inspiration doesn't just apply to ideas, it applies to your packaging too. Your titles, your thumbnails, studying what's already working and figuring out how to make it your own. Which actually brings me to today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by 1 of 10. It's a tool built specifically to help you find viral ideas and thumbnails so you're never starting your planning sessions from a blank page. Their AI idea generator looks at what's actually working right now and gives you fresh angles based on real performance data, not just guesses. You can also track competitors in your niche, see what's trending in similar topics, and use their advanced filters to spot patterns before you even open up your notes app. And once you've got the idea, their thumbnail generator helps you package it properly too, which you know, if you've watched my other videos, you know I care about my packaging. I like my look to feel really cohesive. If you're someone who kind of sits down to plan and just stares at a blank page, this genuinely removes that problem. Now, the link will be in the description if you want to check it out. Let's get back to the planning process. Right, so the fourth step, once I've got my ideas flowing, whether that's from comments or repurposed content, my idea bank, or a tool like the one we just talked about, I run it through two things. I use a tool called Stanley to analyze what's actually performing right now on my channel, what's working, what's not, and the patterns behind both. This tells me which pillar or format deserves more attention that month. Then everything gets planned inside my command center. Script, notes, b-roll, ideas, scheduling, it all lives in one place, so I'm never kind of digging through 5 different apps trying to remember where I put it or what I was supposed to film or what comes next. So let me show you an actual afternoon and what that looks like in practice. All right, so I sit down, pull up my idea bank and go from pillar by pillar. Now for each pillar, I ask what fits growth, what fits connection, and what fits conversion if I need it that week. I'm not writing full scripts at this point. I'm just getting the idea, the format down for every piece of content for the whole month. Now, for example, I know based on previous videos that my How to Film Yourself series typically get the highest viewership numbers. So I consider this type of content growth content. My talking head or relatable videos, they are the ones that tend to spark conversations and comments. So this would count as connection content. Finally, my carousels, they tend to get a lot of saves, and this format is also easier to showcase any tools I'm using or systems that I have, which basically comes across as my conversion content because I can recommend them in this format easier than any other. And that's genuinely it. One sitting, by the end of that afternoon, I have a month of ideas mapped against my pillars and my formats. Nothing is fully fleshed out at this point, and that's intentional. Building out the ideas, the actual scripts, the specific b-roll, the exact hook, that happens weekly or bi-weekly after this. But the hardest part, the part that stops most people, is just knowing what you're going to be posting. And once that's solved, everything else becomes so much easier to tackle in a lot smaller chunks. Now, if you want the exact system I use to organize all of this, the idea bank, the calendar, the pillar tracker, it's all built into the Creators Command Center, and the link for that is in the description as always. Now, let's recap quickly. Number 1, define your 3 pillars. Number 2, split them up by format. Number 3, pull ideas from comments, repurposed content, and have a running idea bank. 4, run it through your tools to see what's working. 5, plan the whole month in one sitting, then flesh it out week by week. The 41% of you said you don't know what to talk about. This is genuinely a fix that works. I use it week in and week out. You don't need more inspiration, you just need a system. Now, if this helped in any way, hit that like and hype button because it helps the video a lot, and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know in the comments what your 3 pillars would be. Maybe we can discuss them together. Okay, as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace and love every single time. Denz.